Now, in our research, we see that 90% of the people who actually encrypt these credit cards are not PCI compliant, and they're breaking the law. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Search. This week, we will talk about something very, very interesting, and for us nerds out there, very exciting. We're going to talk about credit card encryption and tokens. The reason that this is important is there are a lot of e-commerce sites out there where over 50, 60, 70% of their revenue comes from recurring sales. Recurring sale might be a subscription box similar to BarkBox or similar to some other solutions. You might have an e-commerce site on BigCommerce, Shopify, Volusion, and you might be selling products a la carte, but you might also have that subscription method where, for example, if I want to get some vitamins from Vitamin Shop, Vitamin Shop allows me to actually place orders and have a specific vitamin or multiple vitamins shipped to me on a monthly or bi-weekly basis. Now, when this happens, there is a technology that happens in the background, which is you have to store the credit cards and you have to tokenize the credit cards. The reason that we're talking about it this week, because we've been getting a lot of requests from clients who want to migrate from one platform to another. For example, Volusion to BigCommerce or Shopify to BigCommerce or Magento to Shopify. And everything is okay. They can do the migration, but they're getting stuck with migrating these tokens. So we're going to talk about the two types of credit card storing technologies today, and we're going to talk about how we can migrate this technology. So, Carlo, when we talk about these credit cards and how these credit cards are stored, I think there are two ways. Can you tell us more about this?
So there are two ways that you can store these credit cards. You can either, one, encrypt them into your system, or two, you can actually tokenize the credit cards.
Okay, so when we're tokenizing the credit cards, you need to use a payment provider like WorldPay, or there are a bunch of other payment providers out there like Authorize.net. So the tokenized credit cards are handled by the payment provider. However, if you are storing the credit cards in an encrypted fashion, solutions out there, PCI compliant platforms out there like Volusion, BigCommerce, Shopify, they actually handle this for you. But then it gets a little complicated because there are two types of reoccurring credit cards you can have. One, you can have a reoccurring product, or you can have a reoccurring order. So the challenge comes when a platform like Volusion really handles reoccurring orders, not products, and a solution like BigCommerce can handle reoccurring products and reoccurring orders. And they're really different things, because if I'm buying only one product on Tuesday the 19th, it's going to hit me, that charge is going to hit me every 30 days. But if I'm buying another product now on the 22nd, does the token or does the encrypted credit card merge those two products into one order, or do I treat it as separate products? And this is really a business decision for a lot of the e-commerce companies out there. So when we're dealing with a platform, if you're encrypting credit cards, you want to make sure that wherever you're encrypting or wherever you're storing those credit cards is PCI compliant. Now, in our research, we see that 90% of the people who actually encrypt these credit cards are not PCI compliant, and they're breaking the law, and they're actually prone to getting fines from Visa, MasterCard, American Express, because they have a lot of security issues on their systems because they are not PCI compliant. Now, there are other compliance issues like GDPR and everything else like that, where you have to let the client know or let your customer know that you're encrypting these credit cards. So we've worked on some projects migrating these credit cards and these tokens.
Right.
What is the biggest issue, Carlo? Where is the concern from the clients when we talk about this?
A lot of people don't have their credit cards tokenized. They'll have it encrypted, but not tokenized. So the challenge comes to taking this encrypted information and tokenizing it so that they're compliant with PCI.
Got it. So why is it important to tokenize it, though? Is it only for PCI compliance, or does it actually make the process a little bit more efficient when you're going through the ordering process?
It's both, definitely. Not only does it make you PCI compliant, but it also gives you a lot more freedom when it comes to adding products to your subscription. So think about BarkBox or think about Dollar Shave Club. It's a reoccurring charge, but you can add and remove products at will from the customer side.
Got it. So obviously we're talking about BarkBox that does over $100 million, and we're talking about Dollar Shave Club, which is $1 billion company. So the challenge becomes, how can small and medium-sized businesses actually afford to do this? And that's where Optimum 7 comes in, because we have the right processes and the technologies to actually assist our clients migrate these tokens when we have to migrate tokens, or help them turn the encrypted credit cards into tokens. And the method for this is really simple. We have to take every single detail for the order, like who the customer is, customer name, last name, customer address, zip code, and then we need to get the products that are currently on an existing reoccurring subscription. We need to look at if they're tokenized, what percentage of it is tokenized, what percentage of those orders are encrypted credit cards, and then build a plan so that we can, this is what we literally do. We take the entire information in XML CSV format, we push it through the API into the payment provider. Let's take WorldPay as an example, payment provider's API, and we take those encrypted credit cards, the product information, the date that that order or that product is supposed to renew every month to be shipped again, and then we push it to the WorldPay API or the payment provider API, and we tokenize these. Now, once we tokenize these, then we grab those tokens and we import it into the e-commerce platform. That could be BigCommerce, Volusion, Shopify, Magento. That could be the enterprise like Demandware or SAP Hybris or Episerver. Whatever solution they have as an e-commerce platform, we just import those tokens. So that way, now under their My Account pages, just like Carlos said, similar to BarkBox and what was the other company?
Dollar Shave Club.
Dollar Shave Club. Then your users or the client's users can log in, they can cancel their subscription, pause their subscription, they can add a product to their subscription and not have to worry about getting billed 5 times. If you have 5 products and you started those subscriptions on different dates, you don't want to get billed 5 times on different dates in a month, right? So what it will do, it will prorate it for digital products or for SaaS companies. So it does a couple of different things, but with e-commerce, it's essential to have your orders tokenized and the encrypted credit cards tokenized, because when you're tokenized, it's secure, it's PCI compliant. You're not storing any of this information, so you are not liable if something goes wrong or if something happens. And tokens are not transferable, just like credit cards. Like I can have your credit card and I can spend it on whenever I want, but you can't just take a token and charge it to something else. So it's very secure. It's more operational. And on the front end and on the back end, it's a lot more efficient. This is why we want them to tokenize. So when we talk about clients like this, though, Carlo, there are a lot of clients we have that don't really want to tokenize. What is the concern that they have?
The problem with this is really data loss, or that's the real fear that's coming from these clients. I mean, you have a ton of information, sensitive information from the clients, the information about the orders, where they're coming from.
What is the date?
Yeah, the date that they're being ordered. And they don't really want to rock the boat here because sometimes there's millions of dollars at stake here, and one false move and you could be losing a ton of sensitive data that's valuable to your business.
Correct. So again, the problem is if one platform, e-commerce platform, is not working for you and you're trying to migrate, but you have a ton of existing encrypted credit cards or tokens in that platform, clients are scared to migrate it into another platform. And what we're saying is, don't be scared. This process is actually pretty straightforward. Here are the companies that we would need to contact. So we need to have access to your payment provider. That would be somebody like WorldPay. We need to have access to a third party who might be handling your reoccurring payments like WorldCommerce. We need to know which platform you're going to. Let's say you're migrating from Volusion to BigCommerce. And then the last thing is we need to know your entire order process. We need to look at your customers, what date they order. And we have to look at the fifth one, very important. Did you base your reoccurring business on reoccurring products, reoccurring orders, or both? As long as we have this information, it's actually pretty straightforward to migrate from one platform to another platform, and it's very easy to tokenize your existing encrypted credit cards. I mean, there are some clients that we see that they store credit cards and they're not even encrypted. So that's really that puts you in a vulnerable situation. So if you have any questions, anything else about tokenizing or encrypted credit cards, we're happy to assist you. We'll talk to you guys next week.